If money were no object, what would you be doing with your life right now?
The new year is the perfect time to make a plan, really a roadmap to follow in the next year.
Yes. Lisa Nkonoki is a life coach who has helped those in all walks of life to get to their dreams. Welcome to the show, Lisa. It's nice to have you here.
Nice to be here. Happy New Year to you all also.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I actually started living my own dreams as a kid working in my grandfather's fish market in New Britain, Connecticut, and then went on at 11. My mom was teaching and said, "What do you want to do for a career?" I said, "Be in television." She said, "Good, start researching." I started at Channel 30 doing some volunteer work, worked on Capitol Hill at 15, and 18 went on to work for Norman Lear on all the major TV shows. So that was kind of the beginning of me starting my dreams. And I also did one of the first rap shows in Connecticut with Russell Simmons, who I just saw recently also.
So how did you come from that to becoming a life coach?
Well, actually having worked with a variety of celebrities and different people from all walks of life, I also run a program called Dads Who Make a Difference in the Community. You kind of see that people struggle at different variations, and working whether they're wealthy or whether they're poor, they have the same goals in mind, but money doesn't necessarily solve the problem. It's really kind of how you make your plan, how you assess yourself, and how you motivate yourself to get to the next level. And I find that most people get stuck in the minutia of things that don't even really matter. And so I talk to them about, like, okay, if you had 30 days to live, what would you be doing? That kind of gets you really focused, and really, in most cases, most people haven't thought about what they would do if they had 30 days to live. So I think by starting with the very simple crux of what's important to you, not someone else, what would you be doing, who would be near you, where would you go, how would you do it, and kind of let that be your legacy. When people start thinking in that way, thinking backwards for the forward moments, then you can get people kind of focus in and zero in, and then I can start them on their plan.
Well, what's interesting is you talk about living your dreams, but you go into more detail about each.
Well, I think each person, really, I either call it a prescription for success, a blueprint if you're more analytical in your thinking, or a recipe for success. We add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then kind of come out with your own unique style.
So when you meet somebody, you make a quick assessment.
I make a quick assessment. We have a conversation. Sometimes people will say, well, I want to date, or I want a new career. Or a lot of people I'm dealing with are going through very hard transitions like divorce, or their kids might be going off to college and they're going to be empty nesters. So it's about really finding out, at the end of the day, what's important to you, what matters to you, and also how do you function in your day-to-day life. Because I think making a plan that doesn't work with who you really are, the essence of who you are, is contradictory to everything that you're really trying to work towards.
Well, maybe if you can go into detail about the three different types of people.
Okay, so for example, let me just give you, it's not so much a type of people. I think it's really more about, I give most people a prescription for success.
Okay.
So for example, I had a client who was stuck, kind of wanted to stay in the same location that she had been in for years. And I said to her, her kids had said, we want you to kind of move out of that situation. And she had the means to do it. It's not always about having the money to do it. It's about the mindset.
You say location, you mean a home?
A home, yes. They felt that their life ended when their family went through a transition of a divorce. And I say once again that, you have to find what's the best and brightest thing that you can try and think of and dream of and make it happen. So if you told me you wanted a Porsche, I can tell you I did this actually for one client out of New Canaan, where I actually went to my friend over at Hoffman's and took a loaner car Porsche and drove it to their front door and let them drive it and try it out overnight. And it was so funny because the woman was like, oh my God, that's like, it was magical to her, but she kind of felt like I shouldn't have a Porsche.
Well, it's probably motivation too. You just need a little kick in the pants, don't you?
I love being like this time of year Santa Claus, but being Santa Claus 365 days of the year, really helping people to get where they want to go. So if you told me something you want, don't tell me if you don't really want it, because I'm going to try and help you get it.
So it's really visualizing what it is that you want and seeing yourself doing it.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't think people can always get the whole essence of how they see themselves in it. I think I try and see it more than they do. I think when I hear different things from people as we're having a conversation initially, I can kind of see what's really important to most people. What's important is usually family. What's important is usually having the means to be able to do. A lot of people talk about traveling. So I tell them do simple things. Even if you didn't have the money to travel, let's start looking up brochures. Let's start, getting things in plan. Do you even know how much it would cost? Because a lot of the times I say to people, if you won the lottery, you wouldn't know what you would really do with your money. People always say, oh, I want to win the lottery, but you don't have a plan in place. So do you know how much those items are going to cost? Why not find out now, get your checklist together, and let's get on our journey.
I love that idea, though. You just take baby steps and get to your goal.
Take baby steps. And I think when you take baby steps, it can make you also give you the confidence to go to the next level.
You actually have a to-do list. You have list your dreams and desires.
Yes.
Yearn to identify what your passion is, and then dare to start your journey. It's LYD.
That's it. Live your dreams. That's
I like
it.
that.
That's it. Well, part of the problem, again, is that most people do not sit down and make a roadmap. And I always say to people, what's the shortest distance between here and California? How would we get there? We'd have to have a map, or I hope we'd have a map, because you're not going to just get out there and drive. So why don't we do that for our lives? And why don't we do it sooner as opposed to later? Because I think, at least if you think, and another thing that I find with people is, don't be afraid if you don't know what your passion is. Don't be afraid if you don't know what your dreams are. The idea is to try and kind of get you to sit down and focus on what, at the end of the day, is going to make you feel like you're whole, like you did what you were supposed to do for your life.
What you don't want a life of regrets.
No.
You want to do what you want to do.
No.
Well, we're out of time. Thank you so much. It was a great way to start off the new year.
Thank you.
And really quickly, how can we get more information?
You can go LisaNkonoki.com. That's LisaNkonoki.com.
All right. Very good, Lisa.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.